Hey, baby boy. Oh, are you so scared today? Oh, Sergi. Oh, baby. Yeah, shake it off. Hey, I'm Stephanie. This is the Yacht Club, and today we've got a hip opening level 2 seated yoga practice. This is my dog Sarge. He'll be joining us today, if he can behave. So let's begin in a chair without armrests if possible, and sit forward. Notice where you are today, and just be gracious with yourself. Let's begin this practice with kindness. Plant your feet into the ground. Ground your hips through your chair. Place your hands on your knees and lengthen through the top of your head. Maybe turn up the corners of your mouth. Find a small smile. And breathe. Begin to deepen your breath here. Let it fill up your lower rib cage. In through your nose and out through your nose. Soften your gaze and just arrive here in your practice. Notice the feeling of your sits bones in your chair. Notice the angle of your pelvis if you're leaning forward or backward, if you feel rounded in your low back or arched. We're going to explore that some more. So let's all bring your hands to your hips and explore the way that you can tilt your pelvis sitting in your chair. So first tilt it forward, which may bring your shoulders a little bit forward, but the focus here is on the hip, the pelvis itself. And as you tilt back, you'll notice your low back rounds. It kind of creates this sort of curve shape. And let's come forward and backward a few times through the full range you have sitting down. And keep your hands on your hip bones. Let's inhale as we come forward and exhale backward. So the natural resting place of our pelvis, the neutral pelvis, is a little bit tilted forward. A lot of us live with a posterior tilt in our pelvis that's creating a sort of rounded back. You may find yourself at a computer or often looking at a phone or driving in a way that doesn't allow your pelvis to tilt in its neutral position. Let this be a stretch and a sensory exploration. And then begin to find neutral. So notice the feelings of your sit bones against the chair. That's sort of our prop point, resting place. If we're leaned so far back that our tailbone is touching the chair, then that's too posteriorly tilted. So come forward where you're really propped up on your sits bones. And from that grounding, so you're really rooting through your sit bones, lengthen up through your head. So we're finding space from your sense of grounding here. Maintain that length, the stability through your core, grounding through your pelvis, and bring one heel to your shin. You can keep your hands on the sides of your chair if you need some support for balance. And draw your heel up and down your shin. Your knee will come out to the side. Notice any sensation in your inner thigh or your outer hip. And sync this movement with your breath. So inhale to draw up, exhale, draw down. Let's do 5 more together. And place that foot back on the ground and begin with your other foot. So heel to shin. Inhale, draw a line up your shin. Exhale, back down. And you're really grounding through your opposite hip to maintain stability in your chair. Five more. Let's inhale up, exhale down. So this is a combination of strengthening and stretching. And plant both feet on the ground. From here, bring your heel, we're switching feet again, bring your heel up your shin and all the way onto your knee. If you need a little support from your hand to get there, that's perfectly fine. Let your toes be active here, and your base of support is still really stable in the foot that's on the ground. And don't push through your knee here. We're just letting gravity sort of open your hip. You can place your hands on your chair if you need stability support, or really lengthening through your spine. If there's space and your hip feels open, you can begin to tilt forward with a really long spine. Just hinge from your hips. That's only if you're looking for a deeper or more intense stretch. And breathe here. And sit back up if you've tilted forward. Bring that foot to the ground and switch sides. So draw your heel up. You can use your hand for support to bring your foot to the top of your knee. Find active toes. Really ground through the base foot. And let your knee sort of fall open here. Let your spine be neutral. Your back is long. And if you have space and are looking for more intensity, you could hinge forward at your hips. This should not feel painful in your knees. So if you're feeling any pain, you could bring your knee up higher, or we could stick with a heel to shin active stretch. We should be noticing sensation in your outer hip. It's a big stretch on this outside hip. Breathe length here. And inhale, sit back up if you've leaned, and bring your foot to the ground. From here, let's explore some hip abduction. So opening our hips for the externally rotated poses. So we could start with some active movement. On one side, just step your foot wide and bring it back to the middle. Option to use the support of your hands on the base of your chair. You're just stepping your foot out and back in. And let's try it on the other side. Just warming up your hips. Step out, back in, and one more time. Now let's step both feet out. So wide stance here. Sit a little forward in your chair. You may find a little bit more of an anterior pelvic tilt. And this is goddess pose. So it starts off as a hip stretch, but then can ground through your feet. You can let your toes turn out a little bit. We want your knees to track directly with your second or third toe. And then explore pushing down through your feet, maybe support through your hands, and let your legs be strong here. So let's lift up, push through your feet, and come back down. So I'm using my hands on the base of my chair to lift up just a little. Let your legs be strong, and push back down. Lift up, and back down. Move at your own pace. Explore how much effort you can do with your legs to let your shoulders be light and easy. And then if you're feeling like you would like a little bit more challenge, you could bring your hands to your knees and shift forward to find a full goddess squat. So you'll have to bring your weight a little bit forward into your toes. And you know you've got the chair beneath you if you need to sit. But this is a full, deep, very active squat. You could even bring your hands to your chest. This is a full expression here. Very intense pose, so breathe easy here. And just let your breath be your guide. So if your breath becomes uneven or less than smooth, take it back a level. You can sit back down. So from here, return to your breath. Keep one foot externally rotated, and your other foot is going to step out long. So this will take a little bit of transition. Bring one foot to the short edge of your chair, and your opposite foot will stretch out along the opposite side. So take a look at me first before you try and find the shape. Have my toes pointed towards, they're tracking with my knee, and then my back foot is long and straight. My toes are pointed forward. Find a lift through your low belly and turn your shoulders towards the long edge of the mat. So you're really externally rotated through this hip, really strong through both hips. If you feel stable here and your breath is smooth, then you could bring your hands up and out. You can gaze over your front hand for full warrior two. Now explore your pelvic tilt here. So you may need to press through your feet and lift up to find the right balance here. If you're looking for more intensity, press through both feet and let your hips come up off the chair. Breathe here. Pressing through the blade of your back foot, finding a long line of energy, drawing up from the ground, out through your fingertips and the top of your head. And if you've lifted, gently come back down. You can bring your hands to your hips or to the chair and draw your feet back in. Find neutral. And let's go to the other side. So step your foot out to the side of your chair. Externally rotating that hip, and the opposite leg comes out and back. So we have ideally a 90-degree angle through your front leg. And we're lifting through your low belly, rotate your shoulders. You could begin with your hands on your hips and press down through your feet, almost like you're going to stand up in this position. So really send that energy down through your feet, even if your hips don't lift. Find space through your chest and maybe stretch your arms out long. If you're looking for more of a challenge, press even harder to lift your hips off the chair. Keep drawing up through your low belly. And gently lower yourself back down if you've lifted. You can bring your hands back to your hips or to the chair and carefully draw your legs in. Our next posture will begin in the same position. We're just going to explore some differences in our spinal mobility here. So same way, step your foot to external rotation and your opposite foot steps out behind you. Begin in that warrior two posture. Find a length through your spine. Reach your arms long. And tilt from your hips. Place one elbow down on your thigh. And the opposite arm can reach straight overhead. So you may need to tone through your hips in the back. So you're kind of squeezing your hips forward. And find some space through your rib cage and your chest. A lot of length through your spine. You're pressing down through your feet so that your hips are strong. If you're looking for more challenge, you can press down enough that you can sort of hover over the top of your chair. And breathe your spine longer. And gently lower back down. If you've lifted, bring your hands back to your chair and draw your legs in. And let's find extended side angle on the other side. Step your foot wide for external rotation. Opposite leg reaches behind you. So this is like a sideways lunge. Turning your hips so they're open, your shoulders are open. Reach your arms long and tilt from your hips. Place your elbow on your thigh and reach your opposite arm overhead. So in this position, we have a little bit clearer of a picture of that line of energy from your back foot all the way out through the crown of your head. Your fingers are active, your feet are active, and if you're looking for more challenge, you're pressing down through your feet, hovering your hips off your chair. And breathing here. Remember, if your breath becomes less than smooth, take it back a level, maybe lower your hips. Maybe bring your top arm back to your hip. And bring your hands to your chair. Upright yourself. And bring your legs back into neutral. And reconnect with your breath here. Take a moment with your hands on your knees to notice any sensations in your body. Let's reach your feet out long. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. And exhale, fold forward, reaching over your toes. As you inhale, lengthen your spine, maybe with your hands on your shins. And exhale, fold forward. Let your head be heavy. Inhale, come back up, rolling up slowly. And scoop back in your chair just a little. Let your back rest against the backrest. And draw one knee in. So you could grab from the back of your thigh or your shin and draw your knee in towards your chest. Maybe draw some circles with your knee. Find a little massage deep in your hip. And circle the other way. And let's switch sides. Place that foot down on the ground. Draw the opposite knee in towards your chest. Hands can be on your thigh or on your shin. Squeeze in. And maybe find some circles. See what feels good to you here. Sort of recovering your hips from all that work they just did. Circle the other way. And place that foot back down on the floor. Take a deep breath and let your shoulders relax. We're leaning against the back of the chair here. Place your hands where they're comfortable on your thighs or on the sides of your chair. And slow your breathing down here. We're moving towards Savasana Seated. So that's our final relaxation. You can let your eyes come to a close. Let your breathing slow down, get gentler. And become an observer of your body here. So get curious about how you're feeling, how the effort of those poses affected your body. And as you breathe, let your eyes soften, your face, your tongue soften. Let your jaw relax. Let your neck and your shoulder muscles relax. Let your chest be light. Quiet your abdomen. Let your inner thighs and hips melt into the chair. The muscles of your legs relax so much that your knees begin to fall out to the sides. Let your calves and your shins and your muscles of your feet relax. Even the muscles in your toes, let them gently relax and melt into the floor. And then slowly begin to deepen your breath. And bring some movement into your fingers or your toes. You place your hands on the sides of your chair and blink your eyes open. And push yourself off your backrest. Slowly draw your body back upright. And place your hands on your knees. Deep breath here. Reach your arms up overhead and draw them down towards your chest. Thank you for taking time to practice with me today, to tune into your body and to work towards strengthening and opening your hips. Namaste. Have a great day, guys. Please let me know what videos you'd like to see. If you'd like more challenging videos like this one or leveling up from here, or if you'd like shorter or longer practices, I'm very open to feedback. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments.